Hi, my name is Lillian Dreadgrow, and this is Locks, Knots, and Stitches, a fiber arts podcast, and this is episode 1. Thank you so much for joining me today, and make your day as awesome as possible. I live here in beautiful Rochester, New York, with my son/producer, Turbo Joe, my 3 dogs, 4 cats, and boa constrictor. You can find me on Ravelry at SparklingWater000 and on Instagram at demolition_Debbie with an IE_199. But the best way to contact me and to get a quick response is locksnotstitches@gmail.com. I am the best at emails. Everything else is very hard for me. So with that said, we'll move right into the administration. One thing, I do not have a group on Ravelry yet, but if you would like to suggest a group to me, I'm more than happy to join and participate in different crochet and knitting, cals, and whatnot. Another thing is I will work really hard to post pictures on Instagram. I just learned how to, it linked to Facebook, so wow. Yeah, I'm not the best, but I'm going to work really hard. Usually I'm that person that reposts everything. So I'm going to work my best. So this is my very first podcast, and I'll work on saying promise. And I just wanted to join the ranks of all the beautiful men and women out there who are doing an awesome job of bringing great podcasts to us. And it's really informational, and I learn a lot. Alright, so what am I drinking? Well, first of all, I'll show you what I'm drinking out of. And that's this very cool mug I got for Christmas. I am a photographer. And I'm videotaping on the awesome camera I have. And it's just your typical mug. Trying to catch the light. There we go. So just your very typical mug. But really cool looking. Some of the other things I like to drink is tea. And hope you can see that. Pretty cool, right? I'll read you the ingredients. This is a black tea, which is my ultimate favorite. With cinnamon, cardamom, ginger root, black pepper, and cloves. That's kind of like the stuff I like to put in my coffee, except for I do add nutmeg to that. But otherwise I don't put any cream or sugar in my drinks. So if you'd like to suggest something to me, please do. I like to try new things. I do like loose leaf coffee and whole bean, loose leaf tea and whole bean coffee. I like that fresh ground smell and feel when you make coffee in the morning. Okay. So I wanted to make this podcast as positive as possible. And one of the things I wanted to talk about in the beginning is the types of yarn I use. As you can see behind me, I have tons of acrylic. Not all. Starting out, it's hard when you're really young. You kind of use what's available and easiest to get, and it's acrylic. Now that I'm old now, I'm able to get, you know, your cottons, and some of your threads are cottons, and some of your indie dyed wool yarns. So that's really neat, and it does help to have stores accessible to you. So one of the cool things is the store right in my city, not the next town over, nothing like that, in my city. It's called the Black Purl. And they have all indie dyed yarns and all the fancy knitting needles and crochet hooks. And I went in there twice in 2 weeks and overspent. So it was great. Got a lot of cool things, and I'll show you. And the owner is amazing. Really a nice spin on your typical yarn shop. Very pirate based. The Black Purl. Alright. So, another thing I'd like to talk about is, real fast, I wanted to put this in, what do you call it, your whips or new things to do, but is this. I got this from the dollar store, and I wanted to make it into a project bag. I think I might do a video on how to do it. I first tested it out, put it through its paces, and I don't know if you can see, but it's pilling a little bit. Yep, there you go. Sure, there's probably some dog and cat hair, as many animals I have. But with that said, I take it to work, throw it in my truck. It's lasted. So, you know, until I can save up the money again to buy the nicer project bags, I thought this would be nice, and maybe do a tutorial for people on how to make a nice project bag. And the great part is it has this front pocket, so I figure you could put cool design here, or it's a nice structure, and I think you can do something with it. So that's something I will do later on. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about is charity work. Let me find my charity work and I will show you. I want to do, like, right now I just want to do preemies. Stuff for just preemie babies. Just kind of because it hit close to home with a lot of friends and family having preemie babies and it being really hard. And so, let me dig through my stuff as I got trampled on by my dog earlier, who was sleeping in my stuff. But I just want to make a bunch of these, and these are preemie hats, which I think is really cool. So you can see. And I was thinking about, I know some other podcasters out there had some other things and I wanted to join, so as soon as I get these all made up, which I will show when they're all done, I will join more charity projects. Okay, so for finished objects, this one's going to be a little rough. This is the blanket I made my son. It's a little rough because he's been using it. I never blocked it because he used it right away. But it's kind of big. But as you can see, it's let me see if I can get it better. It's a square, the granny square. There's 12 of them, and I put them all together. This is just basic acrylic yarn, but a little trick with soaking it in conditioner and then washing it made it really soft. But as you can see, there's the way I joined it. So he loves it, and with all the animals, there's only going to use acrylic as much as he uses his blanket. So it makes a difference on why I use certain things. Another thing he wanted me to show you was this. This is Tunisian crochet. These are just random samples of yarn I had. As you can see, these are not the same. I think this was a thicker, maybe a 5 bulky, and this is a 4 worsted weight. And then the back is just a simple worsted weight. That is a single crochet stitch. There you go. And again, this is all just random yarn I get it from like the bins just to practice different techniques. So Salvation Armies. So it's pretty cool. The dogs now use it. They didn't at first, and you know, if I don't let them on their blanket, on my pillow or blanket, then they grab this and put it on their pillow and look at me like they're being tortured. And then the next one I have is my poncho. So some of you may know in the crochet world is a virus shawl, the virus blanket, the virus 2-corner poncho, and then the 4-corner poncho. I took the 4-corner and started it there, and then the rest I kind of made up as I went along. The first part is this, just to make it kind of like it's really a large neck hole. I just throw it on and it just kind of drapes open, and it's really comfortable. I can cinch it up closer to me or just let it hang down. I like the versatility of it. And again, this is another basic acrylic because I kind of wear it everywhere. Dirt from me wearing it everywhere. Not something I would make in a wool for some. I like to play out in the dirt. Still a child at heart, so I'm not sure I want to spend my money on something I'm gonna get dirty all the time. Got dogs on this, and, you know, so get a little nervous. But as you can see, get my face out the shot. Puts detail into the bottom, which really makes it pretty cool. A little bit of cabling at the bottom. So that was a lot of fun to make. Great to wear. Alright, and then this was something I knitted. Again, this is an acrylic. This I did because I wanted to read patterns better. Terrible. So I just did a basic pattern, and the yarn is again from a thrift store. I believe it's Bernat's Super Soft or Red Heart Super Soft, I'm not sure. But it's really cool. And then this is a scarf I made. Gotta weave in that end, don't I? It's Tunisian crochet. And this was another little test crochet I did, because I did it on a Tunisian needle, and I did the Tunisian knit stitch, but after I did 3 rows, I had a regular crochet double knit stitch, so it made it turn. So both sides are the same. I gotta figure out how to block it. So, but yeah, I really like this, and I can't wait to make my next shawl out of my indie dyed wool yarn. It's gonna be great. I want to make a nice fingering weight shawl I can kind of wear all year round. Alright, let's see here. So now I'll talk about my works in progress. Alright, the first one is a crochet blanket I'm making for my mother in just a basic corner to corner. I wanted it kind of simple, but kind of cute. Something she can just kind of use all the time, and it is with I think this is Michael's brand, Loops and Thread yarn. What is the colorway? Purple Haze. This one called for a 4mm crochet hook. I actually end up using a 3.75. Sometimes I look at the yarn and I think, wow, that's really thin. So I had to change that up. So the next project is my blanket. Again, this is in acrylic because of the dogs and the cats. So it's gonna be like these squares, which I have to finish this edge, but I was just getting a feel for what I want to do. So all these little squares though, they're different. It's pretty cool. I have quite a bit made at this point. I'm not going to show you them all, but they're going to be joined together with this. So I'm going to put these together. So I think that's pretty cool. And I was thinking, I'm not quite sure how far I'm going to go with this one. But I was thinking about making this to a oversized sweater. But I wanted to crochet this bottom part and then knit the top part in a stockinette stitch. So we'll see how that goes. And I wanted that sweater, or like a cardigan, for gardening outside when it's not so warm out. Again, I'm a little nervous about using some of the nicer yarns. I know they come super washed now, but so nervous about them getting destroyed. So for the time being, some projects will be done in acrylic. Alright, so now my stash enhancements. Ooh. Okay, so before I found my awesome yarn shop, there was another one that was pretty nice. Pretty cool. Not as many indie dyed yarns, but really great products and selections. So the first two I'll show you. They are a basic, these are not super wash, so really nervous on what to make with them. But it's 50% superfine alpaca and 50% 50% Peruvian wool. And it is a 3 lightweight, and I'll show you the colors. Really pretty colors. I'm not exactly sure what I wanted to make with them yet. I liked it. They were solid colors. I did want some nice solid colors. Yeah, I really don't know. I just wanted them. See my problem. But it's the Village Yarn Shop, and that is a couple towns away from me. Not a far drive, but a little bit. They're 50 grams each, so I'm not sure. Maybe a hat. I do need a really cool hat, as you can see. The dreads, so it's really, I really have to make a custom made hat that might be crocheted, because I can crochet really fast. So that might be an idea. The next one is, now this is a superwash wool. Oh, let me get my face out the way, my apologies. And this is the colorway Nutmeg. This is 50 grams. This is a sock. So I also bought this one as well. my face out the way. And this is the colorway Loden. So I thought maybe I could use these two together. I thought they'd make it pretty cool. Just like two small socks. Thought they'd be pretty cool. Alright. So this first one is another sock weight yarn. And alright, this is from, it's in the Deep Hue, see, cute name, right? This is I Ain't Got No Crystal Ball in the Caribbean colorway. So I saw this color and I had to have it. That was all there was to it. So I'm definitely going to crochet socks with this because I'm really good at that. I'm really fast and really nervous about me knitting socks with this, so I'm definitely going to crochet. Then the next one, whoops, I dropped my tag. I'll show you that. So that all these next ones are Savvy Skeins. Just so we're clear. Uh-oh, my face is in the way. And these are all DK weight yarns. And they're about 113 grams, is it? 116 grams. These are super wash merinos. And this is a, if I say it correctly, the Meropide. It's really pretty. So I really wanted to make like a crazy multicolor sweater. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do it. I'm looking for a basic sweater pattern. Alright, so the next one is Coral Reef. And again, these are all Savvy Skeins. Yeah, put it back here. Is it a better color? It's very pretty. It's a bit softer, so if you hold these two together, you can see this is a bit softer. It's my dog barking in the background. My son opening up the door. Alright. Okay. Again, this is a super wash merino, and this is Tortuga in the Savvy Skein colorway. A really pretty, like green, blue, orange going on. Love it. So, and then I'll show you the next two I have. Again, these are Savvy Skeins. I don't know why, I just ended up buying all Savvy Skeins. Just one of those days, I guess. This is Music in the Night. I really like that. The way it looks. And then this one right now I think is like my favorite. It is Psychedelic Sister. I'll hold that up for you. really gorgeous. So, and these are the two together. So, not sure. I really wanted to make a multicolored sweater, just for fun. Alright, so some of the next things I'll be doing is I'm actually learning the process of filmmaking, hence the podcast, but a little bit more in depth, indie filmmaking. So we're talking like a zombie film a friend of mine is making. We are currently going to start auditions for the promo, so you know that's all for him to promote. But it's really cool. Like, we were doing exploring in semi-condemned buildings, and I say that is in half the building is condemned and half the building is used and rented out. That is quite legal. So, but it's really interesting exploring, and it gives you a perspective on how you want the movie to work and different things you want to happen. So, learning about auditions and how that all process works, that's going to be really cool. The next thing, like I said, I'm going to do those project bags, so that's pretty cool. And then now, I'm going to talk about myself in the part I call Chatty Cathy. So about me, I love zombies, roller derby, and animals, of course, cooking and gardening. I got into knitting when I was around 8 years old. My grandmother taught me to knit. She just taught me the basic garter stitch knit, and she taught me on these tiny, like 3.75 needles. I was using like worsted weight yarn. I knitted so much stuff in those needles. But yeah. And as I grew up, I kind of knitted as I needed it. Again, you know, money was an issue because, well, I was a child. So, a little hard since that no one in my immediate family was into that. So, getting the tools was not easily accessible. So, and then as I, you know, got older, I kind of knitted as I needed. And then I finally knitted this because I had a scarf that I knitted 19 years ago. And I was like, I need a new one. So, and now that I've gotten much older and more established in life, I can now have this and all my little acquisitions and actually knit and crochet all this stuff I love. I started crocheting, I had no idea when. That was more of a self-taught thing. In the past years, I re-taught myself to knit, so I knit a little bit better because I was never taught how to hold that string of yarn. I was just hanging and getting caught in my needles. So I re-taught myself on how to hold my yarn so I could knit quicker, which makes life a lot easier. Alright. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, I'm learning about filmmaking and podcasting. Well, my camera just cut out. So, when I air this video, you're going to see kind of a cut. So, is what it is. I apologize, but I'm learning. So, the next thing I was talking about was animals. I have, like I mentioned earlier, I have 3 dogs, 4 cats, and a boa constrictor. The 3 dogs are Depeche Mode, Clutch, and Machete. Depeche Mode and Clutch are both 6 years old. Machete is about 4. Depeche Mode and Clutch, well, Depeche Mode is a everything under the sun mutt. We were told he was a Beagle Cur Mountain Dog mix, Beagle Pit Bull mix, German Shepherd Pit Bull mix, among many things people have told us. But he's just a 6-year-old goofball. Clutch is a standard Schnauzer Poodle mix. Both of them came from our local animal shelter, Lollipop Farm. They're both kind of goofy. And the last dog is Machete. She's a 2-pound Yorkshire Terrier. She was given to a family member as a puppy, and they didn't want her anymore, so we took her in. And then we have the 4 cats. So that's Betty, Pacey, Star, and Artemis. I'm trying to go in order of age. Betty and Pacey are both around 13 years old. We got them from the Lollipop Farm. Betty is black. Pacey is the male, and he's black and white. Star, we kind of acquired her. We'll keep it positive. She's, I guess, a brown and black tiger. Her age is unknown. I have to go back in her paperwork and figure it out. I'm going to say around 10. Can't remember if she was 3 years younger than the other 2 cats. I want to say it was around 3 years. I don't know. But, I don't know, she's around 8 or 10. And then the last cat is Artemis, who's almost 2. She's a black cat as well. We got her because someone brought her to where I work. I work for a big corporate pet store. I'm a dog and cat groomer. She was brought there in a box. I was not working that day. Someone took her home, one of my associates, and I went to their house and took her home. Tiny little kitten. Very, very tiny. By the time I got her to the vet, she was 8 weeks, so she was probably about 6 weeks when we got her. So her age, somewhere around, she could be 2 now, who knows. I never really backtracked the math on that one. And then, last but not least, is Quonos. Just so you know, that is the home planet of the Klingon world. But that we're talking from Star Trek, the Next Generation, not the original Star Trek. 'Cause I know that was Praxis, but then I guess it changed, and Praxis is now the moon, and then Quonos is the home world. So it's a little weird like that, but yeah. So we named them Quonos because boa constrictors are tough snakes. Them and pythons are actually the largest snakes. But they're tough snakes, but boa constrictors are great eaters. And so are Klingons. And they do have a wide range of personalities, but they're usually really tough snakes. Easy to tame though. But as babies, they're extremely feisty. But that's because when they're born, they're on their own. So they have no choice. You know, everything in life is you deal things from past experience. Well, as babies, they don't have past experiences, so they're a little like, are you trying to eat me? So, but yeah, Quonos is actually pretty chill. My friend who bought his sister, she's a little feisty. But he is a Panamanian Colombian boa mix, for all you snake people out there. So he is a possible super hypo. I will show pictures of him, and I will show pictures of the other animals as well later on. I think he's on my Instagram. I don't have much on there, but I'm working on that. I'm pretty sure the snake is on there. But yes, he is a possible super hypo. And then, so now, oh, we also plan on getting a leopard gecko. Again, with the morphs, for all you reptile people out there, I'm really not too concerned with the morphs. I just want a nice, healthy male. That's about it. A nice, hardy male leopard gecko. So that's what we're looking for. I am thinking about getting a Mandarin rat snake. Again, for you snake people out there, as you know, there's no real well, not that I know of, any people going crazy genetically trying to breed crazy more. So these snakes, they're quite beautiful. And I think that's just because of their area and the other predators around them, that they're brightly colored but non-venomous. So that's pretty cool. And that is our next reptile show is November 4th. Oh, just to mention, we got Kronos back in April. So he is now 7 months. We got him when he was 6 months. So it's just a baby, still learning, still growing. All right. So the last thing is questions. So I have a question for everyone out there. For more experienced people out there, what do you feel is the most versatile shawl out there? I was thinking something more fingering weight, DK weight shawl that I can wear hiking, biking, walking the dogs, going to work, going to a friend's birthday party, anything along those lines, you know. Just maybe not like a fancy wedding or anything like that. I would obviously make a more custom shawl, but just something versatile that I can kind of make and have for everywhere, everyday life. I was thinking of, if I really wanted it fingering weight or DK weight. I wanted it kind of on the thinner side. So again, the best way to reach me is at locksknotsandstitches@gmail.com. Again. So I just want to tell you, I just want to say thank you for watching me today. I want you to stay awesome. And remember, I'm Living Dread Girl, and this is Locks, Knots, and Stitches.